Namaste. Welcome to the beginning of another live Sangha. Today is an extra special day. Being Sunday, I dedicate this to ASMR themed. For all intent and purposes, it's practically the same format, but I'll try to keep my voice in the most relaxing register possible, not go into anything that'll keep you up at night, and just focus on relaxation, spiritual validation, affirmation, that sort of thing. Our first guests are arriving. Hello, Kwali. Hello, dear Ono. Welcome, dear Gina. Welcome, dear Timebot. God loves you too. Grateful to be here. I trust that you are feeling as well as you can be in this moment, despite whatever circumstances you may be going through at this time. If there are any difficulties in life, remember that this too shall pass, and you shall come out of this feeling stronger, wiser, more experienced, and in touch with who you are. Hello, dear Assad. Hello, dear Merle. Lovely to see you again, dear Assad. Hello, dear Moonlit. That sounds lovely, dear Ono. Thank you for the woodland wonder, dear Artemis. Om Ganganapataye Namah. Thank you, dear Assad. Hello, dear Gina. Nice to have you here too. Thank you, Artemis. Allow me to set the intentions for this space as being an inclusive environment open to everyone, regardless of background, identity, orientation, belief system, ethnicity, etc. May we come together as fellow students of life to uplift each other, relate in one another's experiences, and share positive sentiments. Hello, dear Saint Aisha. Thank you, Gina, for the heart me and the 2 roses you sent. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namah. And another pair of roses. Thank you. Dear Rainbow, thank you for your rose. Hari Om Tat Sat. And Koli, thank you for your heart me too. Radhe, Radhe. You're on your way to work right now, riding a Jeep. That's fun, dear Gina. I hope you have a good shift today, and that it's easy on you, but challenging in all the right ways. And thank you, dear Kist, for your heart me. Jaya Satchitananda. Hello, dear Small. Hello, Tracy. Hello, BLXK. That sounds like a really tough decision you made that I hope you're proud of yourself for making, even though it probably comes with some difficult feelings. But I'm sure you thought a lot about it. And at this time, at this moment, that is what works best for you. Yeah, we do have a crackling fireplace in the background, dear Ono. I came in from the outside. I was walking in the rain for a few hours, and I wasn't wearing a rain hat or umbrella or anything, so I let my whole body, hair and clothes get soaked, and so I'm cold and wet, and I thought I'd put a little fireplace video on next to me. Someone with a beautiful Arabic name. You ask, what's the name of the music in the background? We're listening to a video on YouTube called Positive Aura Cleanse by the Meditative Mind YouTube channel. And thank you for the heart me that you sent. Om Dum Durgaya Namah. And dear Jarrett, thank you for your heart me. Jaya Satchitananda. I'd love to start with an invocation of a Shanti Mantra taken from the Taittiriya and Katha Upanishad, which goes like this in Sanskrit. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Divine protect us both together. May the Divine nourish us both together. May our studies be vigorous and effective, and may we not mutually dispute or hate any. Hello, dear Kimmy from Ireland. Yeah. Space can be very healing indeed, dear BLXK. Thank you, Oren, for the heart me you sent, and a friendship necklace. I'm Saraswatyai Namaha. Good evening. Thank you for adding in your presence here. Hello, dear Wendt. My weekend has been lovely, thank you. And hello, Kai Koop. Thank you, Ono. Dear Anthony, thank you for your heart me that you sent. Ham Yum Sa Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. And for your team bracelet. Dear Banjo, thank you for your heart me too. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. Dear Enzo, you ask, is a thought positive or negative? Or is there a state right before that creates the push and pulling? What a brilliant observation you made, yeah. A thought by itself need not be positive or negative. And that is the state before the attraction or aversion to the idea that that thought represents. A judgment is made. That comes from what's above the mind. The realm of thoughts is known as the manas in Sanskrit, but there's a realm just above that, the realm of discernment, viveka, called the buddhi, the intellect. And it's the buddhi that assigns a sort of charge to the thoughts. And the charge of that thought, positive or negative, is based on what knowledge you are currently keeping in your intellect. Not scientific or worldly knowledge, but personal self-knowledge. What you see in yourself and what you see in your relation to the universe. What kind of knowledge you keep in your intellect decides the charge of the thought. You also got very wet today, BLXK, riding your motorcycle in the rain. And you slipped too by accident. Oh, well, I'm very grateful that you're okay. Eveline, Thank you for the heart me you sent. Om Bhur Swah Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yonah Prachodayat. Banjo, and thank you for your pair of tiny tinies. Yippee! Hello, thank you, dear Gio. Hello, Hairspray Betty. Welcome, fish emoji. I'm glad you find this place relaxing. I'm grateful for your inspiration and motivation to explore this space, dear BLXK. Dear Saint Aisha, you ask, how would I like to be remembered? Exactly in the way that people see me. Yeah. And therefore, I hope to create good impressions. Dear Trevor, you ask, what do I recommend to someone who is trying to grow out their hair? Don't cut it. Yeah, it gets shorter when you do that. What you can do is you can get neem tree oil. That's something I learned today while I was researching the many things that you can do with neem tree oil, which is, you can do hundreds of things with neem tree oil. But one of them is you can apply it to your scalp, just a little bit, because it's very powerful. And it can aid in hair growth. Other types of oil are good too. BLXK shares diluted rosemary oil. And thank you for your trio finger hearts, dear BLXK. Here's one for you too. Om Sum Suryaya Namaha. Hello, dear Marcy. I'm happy to have you back, dear Demetrius. Namaskara, dear Dancing Aurora Borealis. Thank you, Marcy, for your TikTok. Om Kring Kali Kaye Namaha. Hello, dear Stevie J. I'm very happy to hear your peace and pleasantness. Thank you for your wishes for everyone. I'm happy to relax you, dear Anthony. Hello, dear Taylor. Neem oil is good for plants too. Yes, that's actually the reason I got it. It's a great it's an insect repellent without actually causing harm to insects or adding unnecessary chemicals to your plant. And I was looking at the bottle I got for that today, and it recommended putting it on your skin and your face and your scalp and your hair. And I was like, what else can this thing do? It turns out a lot. It's also a mild fertilizer. It's also a kind of soap. You can use it to wash things. And when you turn it into a powder, neem powder, you can even ingest that as a way to establish your microbiome. Helps you grow hair. It's really a multi-purpose oil. Thank you, dear Tara, for your heart me. Om Tare Tutare Turebhyam. Welcome, dear Ari. We're talking about neem tree oil. Hello, dear Archer. Tara, you ask, am I wearing Bodhi beads? No, these are called Rudraksha beads, but they're also from a tree. Just not the Bodhi tree, but the Rudraksha tree. The Bodhi tree is considered holy for students of the Buddha, because the Buddha is said to have attained Bodha under the Bodhi tree with his Buddhi. These are all different words that come from the Sanskrit root Buddh, meaning to understand or to awaken. Buddha means the awakened one. Buddhi means the awakener, the intellect. Bodhi means awakening in adjectival sense. And then Bodha means awakening in the noun sense. Rudraksha means from the eyes of Shiva. Shiva, one of the names of Shiva is Rudra, meaning the one who roars. Aksha relates to our eyes. Chakshus is the name for the eye. Aksha means that which has come from the chakshu. Tears, the tears of Shiva. And it is said that when Shiva meditates, there's almost no sign of life except for the ecstatic flow of tears. Do any of you cry when you meditate? If so, then you are producing Rudraksha, or your own kind of Aksha. And the tears that rolled off of Shiva's face, they implanted in the soil of the Himalayas and became the Rudraksha trees. Hello, dear Mara. Well, I've been trying to go live earlier. Usually I go live much later, but I tried to go earlier today, so it wasn't too late in the UK. I try to be live even earlier tomorrow. What helps you grow your hair? You missed it. Shares Rhiannon. Neem tree oil. But the biggest thing is channeling your divine feminine, because your hair is one of the indications of the divine feminine flowing. That's why a lot of men who aren't connected to their feminine side, they go bald. Because their testosterone levels aren't quite balanced with their estrogen or progesterone levels too. You keep your hormones in balance, in that sense, balancing your masculine and your feminine. And thank you, Wam, for your 20 roses. Kam Namah Prajapataye. Hello, dear Kelly. I like your name. Etheris Synthara Music. That's beautiful. Oh, you've been doing some research there, Stevie J. Awesome. I would love to go to India, dear Rad. Hello, dear Radhi. Radhe, oh Radhe. Dear Ono, you ask, how my study of physics led me to explore my faiths and beliefs. It's all about the reason why I studied physics. I wanted to know my place in the universe. I wanted to know why atoms vibrate, what they were made of, what makes the quantum fields tick. And ultimately, we don't know. That's what I discovered, is that there's some really deep unsolved problems in physics, and you know, perhaps the next generation of physicists will be the ones to solve that. But I was disappointed, because I wasn't going to wait until the next generation. I needed answers today, so I needed to shift paradigms. If there were still unsolved problems in physics, then where else could I go? Physics is just one model for understanding the reality. Well, I went one layer deeper. whatever is going to be the grand theory of everything, the equation of all, it's going to be in mathematics. So I started to look for a grand unified theory of mathematics, but then I discovered so too there are unsolved problems. The continuum hypothesis, the Riemann hypothesis, the question of the axiom of choice, etc. So math wasn't complete. I needed a new paradigm again. So I went one layer deeper into logic, studying all of the different logic gates and axioms and how different logical systems could exist. And still there's some really deep unsolved questions in logic. Well, of course, we've already proven some of the limitations of logic with logic, like Gödel's incompleteness theorem, which tells us that, a fully fledged logical system, one that we want to describe the universe, it's always going to be inconsistent or incomplete. Inconsistent meaning that it contradicts itself, or incomplete meaning that it doesn't have the answers to everything. But something changed when I got to what I felt was the quote-unquote bottom of logic, the concept of a truth value, true and false. These are so simple ideas. If there was the first thing that existed in the universe, it was probably just those two ideas. Truth and not truth. Existence and non-existence. Presence and absence. And I was really fascinated by that duality, that binary of the one and the zero, the on and the off. Because everything in logic is just a combination of these truth values in different ways. And everything in math is just a combination of logic in different ways. And everything in physics is just a combination of math. So I felt like I was getting close to something, at least. This concept of presence and absence, the tautology and the falsum, how they dance together to create the cosmos, in some sense. And I asked a funny question, and I can't tell you why this question came to my mind, but here's what it was. What came first? The chicken or the egg? No, just kidding. What came first? The truth or the contradiction? Presence or absence? Or did they both come into existence at the same time? Well, I played a little thought experiment. I thought, suppose one of them did come first, and the universe started with just that. Well, if you start with just truth, well, then you already have existence. Existence is truth. Existence is being. Existence is presence. Nothing new happens. But if you start with absence or non-existence or a contradiction, that is a dynamic creative spark, because when you take the absence of absence, it negates itself and you get presence. I know this sounds like a word game, but it really sparked something spiritual in me. That if you take true nothingness is absence of itself. A nothing so not it was not even nothing, that it couldn't prevent itself from becoming everything. The non-existence of non-existence is existence. Like if you start with a building block that is not, that isn't, something that represents the lack of something, then that is a seed that, in combination with itself, because there's nothing else that could exist, allows for existence to be. I can't imagine that probably makes sense to most people, because it was a realization beyond the words themselves. But I felt like I stumbled upon something that strangely enough, was at the heart of all religion. A kind of nothingness that begot the heavens and the earth. A kind of nothingness that cannot be spoken for. A kind of Alpha and Omega. A kind of Nirvana. A good physics analogy is vacuum genesis theory. Everything comes from the vacuum. So what is that vacuum? Anyway, that was an elaborate answer to your question, but it was not a simple question to answer. Thank you, dear Ronnie, for your rose. Om Kham Jahnavyay Namah. And Asias, thank you for your heart mate. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I'm happy to know I've gone beyond the senses, dear Max. Thank you, Asias, for your rose. Radhe, Radhe. And Morgan Prabhu, thank you for Dove's embrace. Om Kring Kali Kaye Namah. Dear Banjo, thank you for your finger heart. Jai Sitaram. Hello, dear Ari. You ask, what is energy? Energy is the form that contains the essence of the source. That includes everything around you. That includes your body. It includes your mind. It includes all sight, sound, taste, smell, touch, even thought. It's all energy. In fact, a much harder question to answer is, what isn't energy? That's the question that leads you back to the source. You're absolutely allowed to cry, dear Rhiannon. But now you have trouble crying. Is there something wrong with you? Has anyone told you in your life that you weren't allowed to cry? Was there a time when you used to cry a lot, or someone, for some reason, took that personally and got mad at you for crying so much, and from that point on you tried to hide your feelings? Just a question. Hello, dear Raven. Hello, dear 222. Namaste, dear Straight from Stray. I'm glad what I said resonated with you, dear BLXK. You are loved, dear Manka. Thank you, Thea. And beautiful, dear Banjo. I'm happy to hear that. Oh no. Welcome, dear Blue Lily. Hello, dear Shah. Hello, Chloe Evans. Welcome, G. Hare Krishna. Yeah, we do have a fire in the background, dear Olski. Stevie G, you ask, are we dreaming? No, we are the dream. God is dreaming. We are the dream of God. A rock is energy. Absolutely, dear Olski. And some rocks release their energy in very interesting ways. Like the crystals of a ruby. They can release light, and as such, they've been used at the center of lasers. You charge up a ruby crystal, and they discharge their light in a very specific frequency, and all of the crests and troughs of the wave are lined up very nicely to produce a harmonious beam. Also, quartz crystals, they can be piezoelectric, meaning that if you vibrate them, they release electricity, they discharge electrons, and vice versa. When you put energy, when you apply a voltage across a piezoelectric crystal like a quartz, then it'll vibrate at a very specific frequency. And if you ever look at a watch, an analog watch, and you'll see, a digital watch actually, you'll see the words quartz on it. Well, what's quartz about the watch? Well, the quartz is the heart of the watch that's being vibrated because of the charge from the battery. And that's being detected and used to keep track of time, since it's such a consistent frequency. You keep having that frequency until it's in the range of seconds and minutes, and then you can keep track of time through the vibration of that crystal. So absolutely, rocks are energy. Thank you, dear Hairspray Betty, for your 25 roses. Never expected nor necessary, but I thank you. Om Som Somaya Namah. Namaste, dear Muhammad. I'm happy that you had a good sleep, dear Mila Ray. Hello, Miss G. Hello, dear Kalki G. Jai Shiva. I'm doing well, thank you. I'm slowly warming up. Hello, dear Serotonin. You're currently sitting in a nature preserve park watching the sunset right now. How beautiful is that? Oh, thank you for having me a part of that. Time crystals are also really cool, dear Unualuma. Yeah. Oh, I hope so, dear BLXK. It feels like you already knew these facts, but I'm telling you for the first time. That's the beauty of rediscovering truth from within ourselves. Good now, dear Jack. I am feeling a little cold, but I'm warming up. But I'm happy. Thank you. Oh, that's fascinating, Urman. You just found out that we're supposed to search for food with high electric features. We are electric. That's fascinating. Thank you for sharing that. I'll make sure to see your video and question soon, dear Stevie J. Thank you, Pure Possibilities, for your 51 roses and a heart name. Ishwaraya Namah. Dear Raven, thank you for your trio of stars. Om Mitraya Namaha. And Asias, thank you for your trio of roses. Om Ravaye Namaha. Dear Mary, thank you for your rose. Om Sum Suryaya Namaha. And Urmani, thank you for your hanging lights. Om Bhanave Namaha. Bro, you ask, when will you have fully broken down the steps for the goals you want? Clarity, passion, freedom, fulfillment. When you know what the next step is. That's all you have to break down. Just the next step. Because that next step leads you to your second step. And then once you've successfully taken your second step, all you have to consider is the third step. One step at a time. Olski, you ask, does our energy exist only for this lifetime? If you're talking about our body and mind, our body goes back to earth, but it cannot be destroyed. It returns to the soil and becomes new life. Our mind definitely continues to, because all of our mental quirks, they propagate through all the people that we've affected in our life. All of our emotions, all of our knowledge and ideas, they get shared whenever we interact with someone. We leave an imprint on that collective consciousness. However, even so, we in our highest self are neither body nor mind. We are pure consciousness, which is not even made up of a single joule of energy. And that's because it is the source of energy, and yet it has no energy itself. Thank you, Morgan Prabhu, for your garland headpiece. Om Khagaya Namaha. Hello, dear snow tigers. Hello, hand fingers. And thank you, Teresa. Olski, you had asked, do crystals actually work? If you believe in them. I went for a walk in the rain, dear Miss G. Good evening, Mr. No One. Bro, you had asked, how can we be more aligned selves, authentic selves, fulfilled selves? To be aligned requires having a vision of the path forward and looking at your goal dead on. If we're not aligned, then we're obviously not looking in the direction. Have you heard of WYLIWYG? It's an acronym, WYLIWYG. Where you look is where you go. If you're not aligned, you're probably not looking at where you want to go. By looking, I'm talking about the third eye, the eye of higher perception. What do you see within yourself? Keep that in mind. Keep that in your heart, even. Authenticity comes from vulnerability. Take down your walls. Put up fences instead. Don't surround yourself with kingdom walls and a moat and a drawbridge. Just have a little picket fence, you know? It's good to have some boundaries, but don't wall yourself in. How to be fulfilled? of gratitude, even if it's just one thing in this moment. Be grateful for that. Thank you, Tattvamasi, for your quintet of roses. Om Pushne Namah. Hello, EJ. Hello, feeding the geese. I may be faithful. I don't know how much of a leader I am, as I consider myself a student of life, very much so. Thank you, Mary. Thank you for seeing that, dear CS. Oh, you don't have to monetarily help me at all, dear Teresa. Your presence here is more than I could ask for, so what to say of anything beyond that? Thank you. Nice to have a fellow Canadian here, too. Jaya Sita Ram. Welcome, Ranjit. Yeah, I love that too about Buddhism, dear CS. Oh no, you wonder, what are my thoughts on the egg theory? What a beautiful poem. Yeah. If it resonates with you, it must speak on behalf of something deep inside you. Oh yes, that's a wonderful painting, Mr. Noah. Michelangelo is definitely a mystic. Nice to have you back, dear Mary. Yeah, we do have a fire in the background, dear Ranjit. Either that or I left the oven on and my kitchen's on fire. Or it's an aurora borealis, localized entirely within my kitchen. Good evening, dear Strawberry Star Bunny. Dear Jack, you ask, how do you believe the concept of Nirvana and the Christian heaven relate? What a beautiful question. Just as Jesus said, don't take it from me, take it from Jesus. He said, the kingdom of heaven is inside you. And Jesus was no mere poet, although he spoke beautiful words effortlessly. His words were also very direct in many ways, and that inward direction is very real. And where do the Buddhists go when they meditate? Are they trying to get up there? They're trying to get in here, because they've lost themselves in the world. They're trying to make their way back inside. That place inside is called Nirvana too. Yeah, Nirvana and heaven are one. But be careful comparing these terms, because there is a concept of heaven in Buddhism, but it's very different. It's not the same concept. It just happens to be translated to the same word in English. Unfortunately, it leads to all sorts of confusion. But the actual equivalence between Christianity and Buddhism is that Nirvana is the same as the Christian idea of salvation and eternal life. You call it eternal life. There's another connection. Another name for heaven is eternal life. Well, that is another meaning of Nirvana, especially in contrast to samsara, which means the life of eternal suffering. Nirvana is eternal peace. And thank you, dear Banjo, for sending a subscription to the Divine Feminine, to P-Flomatics and Aren. That's very selfless of you. I hope to be able to serve them as much as they allow me to. Om Hiranyagarbhaya Namah. Unualumo, you ask, who or what created pure consciousness? Trick question. Pure consciousness is the very same as the Creator. And the Creator had no beginning, has no end. Ah, that sounds lovely, the Divine Feminine. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Welcome, dear souls. And thank you, Gina, for your rose. Hare Rama. And hello, dear Salmon. Hello, dear Jack Loris. I kind of look like Anakin Skywalker, shares soaps. Well, let's hope I'm Anakin Skywalker at the end of the sixth movie in the saga, and not before his Sith arc. Thank you, dear Teresa. Welcome, time thieves. Yeah. So much significance in Michelangelo's painting. Dear Nervous, you share you're finally listening in the comfort of your own home. You have a day off. Oh, I'm happy to hear that. Losh, you had asked a very fascinating question. Do I believe that truth truly exists? I believe the highest truth is non-existence itself, so that it exists as non-existence, and it doesn't exist as existence. Highest truth is nothing, but not nothing in a joking way, nothing in the most profoundly serious way. Because from that nothing, everything is begotten. Thank you, Mary, for your heart meme. Om Marichaye Namah. Any meditation tips for feeling better before sleeping, shares Tom? Sleep is the best meditation. This is a quote from the Dalai Lama. I would vent to the universe. That's a nice thing you can do. Sit in a nice meditation position and just release what's on your heart. Dear bro, you had asked, how do we remove energy blocks, generational trauma, karma, frequency obsession, to be conscious creators? We remove energy blocks by letting the energy flow. The only block is in our resistance to that flow. The only thing to remove is the resistance to what you're feeling, basically. So acceptance, sort of unconditional acceptance. And you apply that to every part of your body and mind. Just let it flow. You can even dedicate just 2 minutes of your day. And if you can't do that, 30 seconds of your day to just pure flow of energy. Feel it go around your fingertips, up through your wrists, around, up and down your spine, around your legs, up into your head, neck. Just let it go everywhere. And let your mind flow too. No need to keep your mind in any particular state for those 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Generational trauma comes from forgiving our parents and connecting with our ancestors. Realizing that our parents are only human too. and recollecting the wisdom of our ancestors. This means learning from the indigenous, also learning from spiritual lineages that connect us back to our ancestors. Karma means action, but it's often confused for another Sanskrit word that means phalam, the result of the action, the fruit. You cannot remove either karma or phalam. But what you can do is release your identification to the phalam, to the fruit. You say, I didn't do this. The universe has created this opportunity for me. In other words, you identify with the karma, but not the phalam. With the action, but the results of the action are given by the divine. Sorry, I scrolled away. I have to scroll up. Frequency obsession. Fall in love with every part of music. Explore beautiful orchestral pieces that bring together all different frequencies and harmony together. And feel not just the individual frequencies, but how they relate to each other. And how to be conscious creators by having the right intention in your heart. Your intention is what manifests the next step in this world for you. Thank you, dear Carrie, for the rose you sent. Om Adityaya Namah. Dear Liv, thank you for your flowers. Om Savitri Namah. Jen, thank you for your rose and thank you for another rose, dear Mary. We're listening to Positive Aura Cleanse, dear Strawberry Star Bunny. Much love to you, the Divine Feminine. Kalki G. Ah, yes. I think I've heard this question before. What are some ways to cultivate prana? Your breath. Yeah. The more consciously you breathe, the more prana you have. Thank you, dear Jen, for your money gun. Making it rain, hey? Ugh. Om Arkaya Namaha. That was fun. But everyone has a lot of prana. A baby has a lot of prana. But an adult usually doesn't have as much prana as a baby. And that's because an adult has a lot of leakages that prana escapes. If you can plug up all the pranic holes, you'll see you actually have a lot more than you think. It's like trying to fill your cup, but there's a hole at the bottom of your cup. No matter how much you fill a cup that's leaking, it'll never remain full. You think the solution is to get a much more powerful spout, so that it blasts the water in with such a force. But as soon as you put the cup away, you'll find it's almost all gone again. That's why the metaphor in ancient times is, don't go to a well with 5 kinds of pots. An upside down pot, keep your pot upright, be open. A leaky pot, a cracked pot, that is to say, make sure that you're not spending your energy on unnecessary things, and that your attention is focused on your goals. Don't bring a dirty pot to the well, because you think you'll get a good drink, but you come and you'll get sick from it later after you sip from it. That is to say, whatever you learn, keep it untainted from your own biases. Don't put your own spin on other people's personal experiences. Allow them to be exactly as they are, as they come to you. Feel that energy purely. And lastly, bring a pot that's empty. If your pot is already full of something else, then why do you even bring it to the well in the first place? That is to say, empty your mind. Empty your mind of assumptions, conclusions, precognitions. Let yourself be completely mystified. Thank you, Jen, for another rose. Dear Raven, thank you for your hanging lights and 16 roses. Om Tham Namastandaraya. Yoga definitely helps with prana, yes. Nice to have you back, dear Jen. Good evening, Elle. Thank you, dear Bernard, for the trio of hand hearts. Om Bhur-Bhuvasva Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. You haven't missed the reading, dear G. We just had such wonderful questions that I haven't had a chance to read yet. Well, it's a wonderful book, dear, to Divine Feminine. I'm glad that you got that for yourself. Carol, you ask, is samsara really something we escape, or just realize we were never trapped? Good question. And so from that sense, does samsara really exist? Yes. Indeed. The only thing to escape is the idea that there was anything that held you back in the first place. Thank you, Hairspray Betty, for your subscription. Om Bhaskaraya Namah. Asius, you ask, do I believe in Bodhisattva? And what do I think of the Sutra of the Golden Light? I have not read the Sutra of the Golden Light, but I do believe that it's in everyone's best interest to cultivate Bodhisattva, the principle of awakening truth. Twa means principle. Sat means truth. Bodhi, coming from the root bud, meaning awaken. Awakening, the principle of truth. And what is the highest principle of truth? That you are here not to get anything from this world, but to give all that you have in support of this world and the life that you are a part of. Much love, dear Blue Lily. Hello, dear Jeremy. That sounds lovely, Raven. Dear Gabriella, you ask, can you do nice things to pay off your karmic debt? No. A little known fact. I think people forget about this. You have infinite past lives if you have an eternal soul. And in infinite past lives, how much debt have you racked up? Infinite debt. And I'm laughing because it's not something to be sad about. We have infinite karma, we have infinite action that we've undertaken in the past. And we will have infinite palam, fruit that comes from that. What nice things do, they don't offset that, because even if you add a billion to negative infinity, it's still negative infinity. Even if you add 1 trillion to negative infinity, it's still negative infinity. What nice things do is they allow us a way out beyond our karma. They provide us with something meaningful to do. When you are doing something meaningful, then it doesn't matter what pain you bear. This is the truth of life. That if you have a purpose that you are willing to do anything for, then it doesn't matter what karma you are facing. Like a mother will walk over hot coals to save their child from an even lesser misfortune. Isn't it so? All the mothers here, I'm sure, can attest to the fact that they would be willing to go through hell if it meant saving their child from some misfortune. So, it's not about being free from hell, it's about having something so meaningful in your life. Like for a mother, that's being a mother. That's what nice things do. Nice things don't take away the fact that you have to walk on coals. They allow you a level of consciousness in which you are separated from the suffering, from the pain. I hope that makes sense. And thank you, dear Morgan Prabhu, for your woodland wonder and your 32 roses. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Dear Bernard, thank you for your 51 roses. Om Namah Parashaktaye. And dear Liv, thank you for your hand hearts. Om Namo Bhagavate Dakshinamurtaye Mahyam Medham Prajnam Prayacha Swaha. Thank you, Franklin, for your heart me as well. Ram Ram. Dear Sacred Journey, you ask, what made me turn to spirituality and made me who I am today? Nothing. That's the best part. Dear Carol, you share what confuses you is that the gunas create the identification with the gunas, but Purusha remains. Allow me to solve your confusion. Your gunas are confused, but your Purusha is not. That is to say, you are not even the one identifying. So the part of you that's confused about that is not you as the Purusha. Imagine you are standing in a room with someone named the mind. Okay, this is going to be a very interesting thought experiment. Imagine you are standing in the room with someone named the mind. That's their name. They go by the mind. Someone speaking to you. A third person besides you and the mind enters the room. They tell you, you are not the mind. You hear that. You understand that. But the mind struggles to understand that. because the mind heard, "You are not the mind." And the mind says out loud, "How am I not the mind? I don't get that." You are standing in a room with someone named the mind. Someone tells you, "You are not the mind." The mind hears that and gets confused. Does that make sense? Probably not to the mind. Thank you, Franklin, for your heart me. Om Im Namo Vṛndāvana. Dear Ragnhildur, thank you for your swan. Om Vṛndāvana Namo Namo. Hybrid Jen, thank you for your perfume and your skull apple. Om Arlam Arlam Ashwini Bhyam Namah. Talitha, thank you for your heart me. Om Kamalir Mahakalikaye Namah. And Banjo, thank you for your 15 TM tears. Om Aram Brahmane Namah. And thank you, Mary, for your pair of team bracelets. Om Vastudevataya Namah. Pushi, thank you for your donut. Om Namah Sarva Pushpebhyam. J. Kim, you share that we need to find a life. That's a great idea. We should search for the source of life within us. How can we find that life? Yes. And that is the question, isn't it? Hello, dear Toby. Thank you. Why did I stop with the physics videos? Well, you can check out, there's a link tree in my bio. And just to save everyone's time, there's a frequently asked questions document linked in that page. And perhaps some of those words can help answer your question. Prāṇa, dear Christina, is the flow of awareness in your body, including the breath and all of your vital functions. The energy that travels all around. Gaukiji, you ask, with more prana, do you get some siddhis? Not that that's important. Siddhis do require a lot of prana. That's their price, yes. The letter A, you ask, what will I be reading today? Well, if I ever get there, we'll continue through the reading of the book called The Journey Home. Hello, dear Eric. Dear Stevie G, you ask, if you do something wrong but you feel guilty and apologize greatly and try to make up for it, will the fruit of the karma be dissolved? Sometimes. Because the reason it's only sometimes is because sometimes the universe wants to check if your apology is really sincere. If your apology is really sincere, then you will be happy to bear the consequences anyway. Because a true apology comes with the sentiment that I feel like whatever comes after my actions are meant to be, and that whatever lesson I have to learn from that, I must learn. If by grace, however, the universe can detect that sentiment, then perhaps you don't always need to face those consequences. I am on Vancouver Island, dear Unualumo. Dear J. Kimberlin, you ask, am I a guy or a girl? I was born in the body of a male, but I got it from my mother. It was grown by her female body, so that makes this male body an extension of her female body. So, what difference does it make? The masculine and the feminine flow through each of us. Thank you, dear Liv, for your confetti. Om Namo Buddhaya. Unualumo, you ask, how do you decide which is your next step when you have multiple attracting choices to pick from? Well, if they're all attracting, then that means they're all great. It's so simple. If many options seem good, then you can choose whatever. That's the beauty of it. Yeah. Your decision is not right based on which ones you exclude. Your decision is made right by how you include yourself. Whatever you do, if you do it to the fullest of your abilities, you will feel fulfilled in that. The universe is not testing what you decide, it's how you decide. The universe doesn't care so much for what's, but for how's. It's not what you bring to the table, it's how you brought that here. Oh, I just won the game. Thank you, JR. Thank you, Julian, for your ice cream cone. I'm Saraswatyai Namah. Dear Hybrid Jen, thank you for your paper crane and heart me. Om Dum Durgaya Namah. Yeah. You got that, Carol. The mind thinks it's the one being told you are not the mind. And of course the mind is going to have a negative reaction to that. Try telling Steve he's not Steve. Steve, you're not Steve. What? I've always been Steve. What are you talking about? Hello, dear Blair. Dear mi amor, you ask for manifestation opinions. Empty your heart of any expectation. Fill it with gratitude and see what's possible. Such beautiful words, dear Unumua. Unua Lumo. What did I just call you? Fortunately, I don't think there has to be any martyrdom in the path that I have planned. Thank you, dear Arthur, for your trio of tiny dinos. Yippee! You're all the way in Vienna. That's wonderful, Piercy. It's very late. I don't know. It can be if you want it to be, dear Miananda. I'm doing well, thank you, dear Jack Loris. How are you? Alright, I finally made my way back to the present moment. We can begin our reading of The Journey Home. I'd love to continue where we left off. Today we continue through the 6th chapter of The Journey Home. May this reading relax your mind and awaken your heart. Let's dive right into it. About the same time I left the ashram, so did my friend, Asim. I supposed he felt stifled by the constant demands on him there, and was impressed by how my lifestyle was simultaneously so strict yet so free. We often met to explore Krishna's forest home together. One sunny afternoon, while Asim and I talked under the shade of a banyan tree, we were struck by an overpowering presence. Turning, we discovered someone sitting right behind us. Where had he come from? His features looked simultaneously aged and youthful. A single garment made of white cotton cloth covered his upper and lower body. Semi-matted locks of hair reached below his neck. He had large eyes and a round bearded face, and beamed a boyish smile. Anyone who enters Vṛndāvana, he said, is immediately connected to Krishna. Others worship God as a great king, but here in Vṛndāvana, he gazed around and stretched his hand toward the forest. Krishna is at home. Here we love him as a friend, as a child, as a lover. We looked into the forest, and from a distance we saw an animal that looked like a wild bluish cow hidden in the trees. Everything seemed so magical. We were wonderstruck. In the beginning, the man continued, we learned to love God as the all-powerful creator, destroyer, and savior. But God is also the sweetest and most perfect lover. The scripture tells that in Vṛndāvana, playful Krishna is the essence of all beauty and sweetness. Then, rising to his feet, this sadhu, who had mysteriously appeared as if out of thin air, said, "Come, I'll show you places you will never forget." We followed eagerly behind as he strolled through the woods, along the riverbank, and from temple to temple. As we roamed, the local people and temple priests offered him honors. "Where did he go?" Asim asked suddenly. I looked around. The man was gone, and we were abandoned in an ancient temple. Asim inquired of an elderly priest, "Do you know that sadhu who was with us?" The priest's eyes widened and his mouth opened in awe. "Oh, you don't know?" He led us out of the crowd and into a secluded chamber and whispered, "That was Śrīpad Baba, No one knows his age or where he resides. He is a homeless mendicant and mysteriously wanders in a God-intoxicated trance. Almost every day when Asim and I were together, Śrīpad Baba would mystically appear. How did he find us? Never did he bother to greet us. Never did he bother to say goodbye. It seemed that his power was such that he was always there with us, either visibly or invisibly. Śrīpad Baba seemed to know about every hill, rock, stone, pebble, or grain of dust in all of Vṛndāvana and its surrounding area. We wandered with him for many days, and often throughout the night. One freezing winter night, as I lay resting on the riverbank, I observed Śrīpad Baba standing shoulder high in the frigid waters, offering prayers until sunrise. One morning in an alleyway, an elderly widow dressed in a white sari greeted us. "I've observed you wandering the forest with Śrīpad Baba. Now you come with me." Each step she took was laborious, her back hunched as she braced her overweight body into a bamboo cane. She hobbled along toward her home and told a story of Śrīpad Baba's obscure past. Asim translated her Hindi for me. Long ago, when Baba was a child in school, he and his friend enjoyed flying kites between their classes. Halting, her shriveled face puckered as she poked her cane onto the walkway, frowned into our eyes, and raised her voice. The teacher slapped their faces and scolded them. Her body and voice now trembled. The poor little boy was shocked. He couldn't understand what he had done wrong. He wondered why he should continue studying if his teacher, who had mastered all of the very subjects he sought to learn, still did not know how to love. At that moment, he renounced both school and home to search for God. Turning a skeleton key to open the door of her brick hut, she glanced at us over her shoulder. Eventually, he became the disciple of a saint in Vṛndāvana. One night, together with 4 others, Asim and I stole away with Śrīpad Baba to a secluded forest. It was about 9:30 at night. It was about 9:30 and night had already fallen. Beside me, on the bank of the Yamuna, sat a sadhu with a hand-carved sitar strapped to his back. Śrīpad Baba introduced him as a master of the instrument, a pupil of the same teacher as sitar legend Ravi Shankar. Now, though, he is a sadhu. With a refined bow of the head, the sitarist greeted us, then closed his eyes. The sky appeared as black as ink behind the silver moon. Each star radiated a special glow, and all of these light-filled jewels above our heads danced on the river Yamuna's sparkling current. Nearby, hidden among the branches of a kadamba, night birds crooned, and from a distance, peacocks cawed as night-blooming jasmine perfumed the mild breeze. From all of this tranquility emerged the sweet sound of the sitar, long weeping notes of an ancient raga harmonized with the symphony of the Vṛndāvana forest, each note expressing to my ears the musician's yearning for God. An overwhelming experience came upon me while listening. I felt so far from Krishna. I couldn't find a trace of love in my heart. Bereft, I longed for that love, cried for that love, begged for that love. Suddenly, all of creation seemed irrelevant in the absence of that love. The sitar too wept and cried, perfectly articulating my aspirations. Thank you for listening. We've come to the end of the 6th chapter of the 4th act of the journey home. I'm so grateful that I could listen as I read to you. If there's any insight, curiosity, or anything else that came to mind whilst we read, please feel free to share. I look forward to continuing this reading with you next time. We'll start the 7th chapter of the 4th act of the journey home. Welcome everyone that joined while we were reading. Thank you, dear Arthur, for your trio of tiny darnies. Yippee! And Truth Seeker, thank you for your heart meme. Om Narayanaya Vidmahe Vasudevaya Dhimahi Tanno Vishnu Prachodayat. Good night, dear Oh No. What was the book yesterday called? Asks Strawberry Chica. That's the same book. However, you might be thinking of the second book that we also have been reading through, which is called The Pocket Rumi. That includes the poetry of the Sufi mystic himself. Dear Seaflow, thank you for your heart meme. Om Madinaya Namah. Tattvamasi, you ask, what are my thoughts on those last sentences? The last sentences were, I couldn't find a trace of love in my heart. Bereft, I longed for that love, cried for that love, begged for that love. True love is very rare, and when we realize what true love is, we feel how much we've missed that, even though it is our birthright, and there is such an opening for it to be there. This longing, this longing, it increases day by day for that heart space to be filled by that true love, the true presence of the divine. But I'll tell you a secret. The very longing itself is the true presence of the divine. Space for love is the highest love. And thank you, dear Oren, for your baker's dozen worth of roses. Om Namah Karlim Bitame Shrin Naditame Haring Devitame Aing Sarasvatyai Swaha. Dear Jack, you ask, what's my favorite food? Whatever my mom makes for me. Dear Melissa, hello. You ask, do I think that the end of the Kali Yuga is closer than that it has been written? That's up to us to play our part in the anomaly Bye, Kali. Hello, High Hopes. It's beautiful, dear Liv. And Blair, you share you never felt true love until your first child was born. It's a feeling that's unexplainable. Wow. Marcy, you share you put me in the shower and tub. I'm very safe. Oh, good. Yeah, make sure I don't drown. You're allowed to be dysfunctional at times, dear Hybrid Gem. You're only human. Or that part of you is only human, I should say. Tom Riddle, thank you for your flowers. Om Som Suryaya Namah. Thank you, dear Dancing Aurora Borealis, for your woodland wonder. Om Namah Sarva Pushpebhyam. Your quartet of woodland wonders. Now I have a question for all of you today. Today my question of the day is, how are friends made? DVG, you asked, do I think it will look like a world filled with joyful wizards if humanity was all enlightened? We are all enlightened. Yeah, and we're all already wizards. Joyful? That's another question. Deep down, we all are joyful. We just have yet to create that consensual reality where our joy can be expressed equally. Big Grease, you ask, do I believe in dragon spirits? I like the sound of that. Lindsay, you ask how old I am. I am 23. Beeswax candles are lovely, Hybrid Gem. That's funny, Ginger Bear. The best friends are free. Of course. Commonalities creates friends. Finding that common ground is so important. I agree, dear Anne. Morgan Prabhu, you share friends are made with kindness. I like that. Hello, dear gang. What am I doing? It's a good question. What am I doing? You like the question, Mr. No One? Thank you, it's very kind, dear gang. Dear Strawberry Chica, you share that friends are made by two souls connecting on a level far deeper than the surface. That's beautiful. Mutual honesty / authenticity merging shares Omkara. You are the friend you need. Very true, dear Liv. Tom Riddle, you share that friends are made when you connect through an act of kindness. Yeah. Stevie G, you share that friends are made with just simple words and actions. I like that a lot. Yeah. Hairspray Betty, you share common ground, shared experiences or hobbies. Yes, good answer. Unua Lumo, you share friendship is a love relationship where each other value each other's traits. Where each values each other's traits. Yeah, well said. Hello, dear Tom Rabone. You share you've started meditating just this year. Twice during meditation, you've seen an eye, thoughts. That's beautiful. It sounds like you have been doing a meditation that was described in this book, The Hidden Power in Humans. But I trust that you were just intuitive, that you didn't even know that that was a type of meditation. What you do is you imagine your own third eye looking back on you. And then the next step is you imagine yourself from that position, from your third eye looking at you. And then what do you look like? You switch. Dear Stevie G, you share that friends can just fall from the sky magically and come at the most unexpected times. I like that. And Ginger Bear, you share with ginger and spice and everything nice. I like that. Blair, you share, the friends you've made have proven over time that they appreciate trust and spiritual and physical vibrations. I like that. Unualumo, you shared that brotherhood/sistership should exist instead of friendship, maybe. It reminds us we're all family. I love that. Yeah. Dear Anne, you ask, do I have close friends? Honestly, my closest friends include many of you. And my mom, and my cat, Sandy and Shadow, and my dad, and my sister, and my grandparents, and yeah, that's about it. Thank you, dear Tom, for your 10 roses. Om Mahadevaya Namah. Big Grease you share depends on what type of friend you're looking for. Well, that's very true. Yeah, each one we make uniquely. I'm happy to be friends, dear Kalki-ji. But whatever I offer to you, I must offer to everyone. Dancing Aurora Borealis, you share that friends are made when you open your heart to another soul. I like that. Riri, you share, you don't make friends. You remind them you already are. Ah, bravo. Enzo, you ask, is the survival of friends survival-oriented? Maybe in the beginning, but then you discover so much more. Friends can be a good safety net too. The book is The Hidden Power in Humans, dear Tom Brabon. Hello, dear Star Jen. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you? Melissa, you share that everyone is your friend, and the enemy is just a friend not yet discovered. I like that. I am 23, dear Star Jen. Much love to you too, dear Rhiannon. Lindsay, you share that friends are made through time, effort, support, and vulnerability. Yes, vulnerability is so important. Oren, you add that friends are made when two souls recognize the path they are meant to walk together in unity and love. I like that. Hybergen, you share they like you and request to be around you more. That is a good mark of a friend. I like that. Dear Lindsay, you ask, what are my parents like? You know, they're such unique people. I don't know how to describe them. Yeah, I'm just grateful for them. Dear Anne, you share that your European parents used to say that your best friends were your teeth. And you don't know why. Your best friends are your teeth. Best friends, well, you gotta keep good care of your friends. Make sure you keep care of your teeth. Take care of your teeth will take care of you. Hi Burjen, you share that this woman told you you were a dear friend to her because you listened to her at your son's boxing practice. She was going through divorce and her son is also a boxer. She was going through a lot. Sometimes that's all someone needs, is just someone there to listen to them. I am very blessed. I hope to share my blessings with all of you, dear Blair. I'd like to find out how to be your friend, dear Amma. Dear all dressed ruffles, you ask, what's the best mantra to improve speech and articulation in my opinion? Saraswati is the goddess of language. A mantra for her is very good. Om Aim Saraswatyai Namah. If you go to the Wikipedia page for Saraswati, you'll find that linked in her mantras. But also any longer mantra, especially that includes sounds that aren't in your native language. Om Namah Karlima Bitame Shring Naditame Hring Devitame Aim Saraswatyai Swaha. Rig Vedic mantras are very good at testing your articulation. Om Agni Mele Purohitam Yajñasya Devam Vṛndāvana Hotaram Vratnadhatamam. Dear David, you ask, is it okay not having friends? If that's where you are in life at this moment, you're certainly meant to be where you are. But the best friend to make is one with yourself. At least make friends with yourself. You're okay, dear Starjen, but you guess you could be better. I think we all could be better, but that's what allows us to improve in something every day. Goodbye, dear Unualumo. Dear Alma, you ask, what is a friend in the first place? I think learning about how we make them tells us about what they're made of. Raven, you share the connection is made through vulnerability, and friends stand the test of time. I love that. Yeah. Anisora, you give a heart me. Thank you for that. Om Dham Namaschandraya. And thank you, Anazek, for your heart me. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namah. The letter A, you share your pain and suffering is only a fragment on the journey back to the ocean. That's beautiful. I feel you, dear Michelle. Teeth are good for eating. That's true, Morgan Prabhu. Yes. I wouldn't recommend eating your friends, though. Oh, you went there, did you, all dressed ruffles? It's good to have diversity in your friend group. Thank you, Mary, for your pair of team bracelets. Om Namo Buddhaya. Keep your friendships as clean as your teeth. I like that, Blair. December, you ask, how many close friends do I have? I try to feel like I'm close with everyone. So as many friends as I have, that many close friends. If we're not close, are we really friends? Welcome, Casey. Omkar, you ask, can I say something random about creativity? When did we stop putting smiles on everything in our drawings? We should put them back. Give the sun sunglasses again, and a smile. Give the tree a smile. Give the house a smile. Give every blade of grass a smile. Put a smile on everything you draw. Meet people based on a mutual like rather than a mutual dislike. That's so wise, dear Sharon. Mr. Noah, you share that true friends do not need to speak every day or live in each other's pockets. Well said. Blair, you share that some of your best friends are only in your dream world. Not human, but soul friends find each other. I like that. All dressed ruffles, you ask, what about Om Namah Shivaya to improve speech because it uses many different parts of the mouth? Yeah, we've got labial sounds in there. We've got, we got no guttural sounds. We should have a mantra that covers all 5 places of articulation and all 3 energies of voicing, aspiration, and occlusion. Om Namah Shivaya has neither occlusion nor voicing. It does have voicing. Occlusion or guttural sounds. It has no occluded sounds or guttural sounds. Actually, it does have guttural sounds. The ah. The ah is a guttural vowel. What it doesn't have is any occluded sounds. Om Namah Shivaya. Occluded sounds are all the plosives, like ka, ga, ga, ta, ta, da, da, cha, cha, ja, ja, ta, ta, da, da, pa, pa, ba, ba. Thank you, dear Aira, for your heart meme. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. Also, Om Namah Shivaya doesn't have any retroflex sounds produced on your hard palate. Sounds like ta, ta, da, da, na, ra, sha. Joe, you share friends can be made in many ways. Trauma can make a friend for life, but so can returning a frisbee. That's a good one. Ms. Bliss, you share that sometimes a friend is made from being in the same class, sports team, same shelter, life experience. Absolutely. And hello, dear Eira. I walked to Bouchard Gardens today and back. That's why I'm all wet, because it was raining there. I try to walk there as frequently as I can. I have a year pass. It's one of my favorite places to be. So you are intuitive. You are picking up on my vibes. I've been there today. Thank you, everyone, for exploring this question of the day. I'm going to minimize the text there, but if there's any more comments, I'll be happy to read them anyway. Ms. Bliss, you had shared that friends are made through some sort of connection in life, from interests, random conversations. Anisora, you had asked, how can you know what your soul wants you to do, and not your mind, and how do you distinguish the two of them? You are the soul, so what do you want to do? Your thoughts are options. Your mind only gives options. A thought itself is not a wanting. It is you as the soul that imbues the thought with the wanting. So, no want actually comes from the mind. Thoughts come from the mind, and of those thoughts, as the soul, you get to choose which thoughts you want to pursue. But the best pursued thoughts are the ones that speak to your highest nature. Those are the ones that give you in service to the world. When you are in service, you are truly embodying your higher self. You're allowed to be where you are in life right now, dear Anne, and I hope you find friends here. Omkar, you ask, what language can I speak and want to learn? I speak English, and I want to learn Sanskrit. Thank you, Carrie King, for your hand heart. Om Bhurmbhuvasva Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Tanno I'm mixing up my Gayatri mantras. Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. Friends are made by making people laugh. I like that, bro, dude. Welcome, Justin. Thank you for being a part of the space, dear Blair. Smells like Sarah Spirit, you ask, if you play hide and seek with a friend without phones, do you think they'll eventually find you? If they're a true friend, they'll never stop looking for you. Hello, dear Carlos. Zoroastrianism is a beautiful tradition that I'd love to learn more about. August is a wonderful time to go to the gardens, dear Lindsay. You'll be surrounded by many fellow Americans. A lot of Americans love to visit Bouchard Gardens. People from all around the world go there. You're very welcome, dear Anisora. Yeah, wise words, dear Victor. Miananda, you share the hidden power in humans are sold used for $200 on Amazon. Really? Oh my goodness! I had no idea this was such a valuable book. Well, I know it's valuable. It was sent to me for free by dear Usha Priyaji on behalf of her guru, who is the author. Hello, dear user 319. Much love to you from Malaysia. Now, why don't we take a transition before we end with a short guided meditation, listening to some poetry in another episode of I didn't make it. Ruminations. let's continue where we left off. Here we are in the Pocket Rumi, still in the selection of his poetry from the Mathnawi. This poem is called God's Deliberation. God manifested the earth and heavenly spheres through the deliberation of 6 days. Even though he was able through Be and It Is to bring forth 100 earths and 100 heavens, little by little, until 40 years of age, that sovereign raises the human being to completion. Although in a single moment he was able to send 50 flying up from non-existence. Jesus, by means of one prayer, could make the dead spring to life. Is the creator of Jesus unable to suddenly bring full-grown human beings fold by fold into existence? This deliberation is for the purpose of teaching you that you must seek God slowly, without any break. A little stream which moves continually doesn't become tainted or foul. From this deliberation are born felicity and joy. This deliberation is the egg. Good fortune is the bird that comes forth. Be and It Is a surah called Yastu, O thou human being, from the Quran, specifically 36:82. I love that. If the source wished, all things that need to be done would be done. So the fact that things take time tells us that we are meant to be part of a continual process. This poem is called Two Wings. Observe the qualities of expansion and contraction in the fingers of your hand. Surely after the closing of the fist comes the opening. If the fingers were always closed or always open, the owner would be crippled. Your movement is governed by these two qualities. They are as necessary to you as two wings are to a bird. And finally, this poem is called The Beauty. For lovers, the only lecturer is the beauty of the beloved. Their only book and lecture and lesson is the face. Outwardly, they are silent, but their penetrating remembrance rises to the high throne of their friend. Their only lesson is enthusiasm, whirling and trembling, not the precise points of law. We'll pause our reading of the Pocket Rumi there for now. Thank you very much for listening, and you're always welcome to share any insights from another episode of Ruminations with me. Hello, dear Grey Gargi. Thank you, Laurie, for your subscription. Om Ham Jum Sa Om Bhurmbhuvaswah Om Dhyambakam Yajamahe Om Tatsaviturvarenyam Om Sugandhim Pushte Vardhanam Om Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Om Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Om Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. Om Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Swaham. Om Bhuvaha. Om Bhuvaha. Om Saha. Om Jom. Om Haum. Om. Thank you, dear Anasak, for your 30 roses. Om Ham Ham Hrim Hrim Namah Shakti Shivaya Shiva Shaktyai Nama Om. Hello, dear Grace. You're still practicing rolling your R's. That's very impressive, dear Blair. Thank you, dear Infinity Trinity. What are you confused by, dear Grace? How can I help? Please be kind to our guests, dear Kalki Ji. Everyone is welcome to be here. And thank you, Usha Priyaji, for your hand heart. And your quartet of roses. Om Ham Jom So Namah Shivaya. You're confused on what's going on. Oh, me too. Yeah, that's the endless mystery of life, isn't it? I forgive you, dear Kalki-ji. Yeah, I'm with you, dear Gregor-ji. Remember that this space is open to all paths, regardless of what faith, religious tradition, or belief system you are a part of. Everyone is welcome. Dear Gregor-ji, you ask, is it spelled Donda or Downda? Neither. This is spelled D-A-N-D-A, Danda. But the middle N and D are retroflex, so you curl your tongue back. In the international alphabet of Sanskrit transliteration, you'd put a dot underneath the middle N and D. Danda. Yes. Much love. It's beautiful, dear name. Angel numbers. Ramana Maharshi, oh, he is a wonderful teacher. Dear mystic Louise, I have not read, I don't do a lot of reading, but I like to listen to teachings with, my ears, videos. I like his methods of Atma Vicharya, self-inquiry. Now, let's end with a little meditation, shall we? If you're interested. I have a very specific meditation planned for our Sangha. This is a guided meditation on connecting with the sun, our solar energy. One thing you can already do before we begin is check which nostril is more open and which nostril is more closed. If your right nostril is open, then you are already connected with solar energy. If your left nostril is open, then then you're connected with lunar energy. If you want to stay connected to lunar energy, don't worry. It is not mutually exclusive. But if you notice that your solar energy is blocked, then this is the perfect meditation for you. You can take your thumb and index finger, shaped like this, and you can put it under your armpit, and you can clamp it there for the duration of the meditation. That will signal to your nervous system that there's pressure here, as if you were laying on your left side, which triggers your right side, your solar side, to activate. If it gets tired, if anything in your house is shaped like this, you can put that under your left armpit instead. Another thing you can do is place your thumb on your left nostril so that you breathe primarily through your right nostril. But find a meditation position that accommodates those aspects that you want to include in this meditation. The position should be sturdy but comfortable. We'll start with a few rounds of Om Sum Suryaya Namaha, which is the Bija mantra, the seed syllable mantra for the sun, Surya. Om Sum Suryaya Namaha. Om Sum Suryaya Namaha. Om Sum Suryaya Namaha. Feel that radiating light of the sun. Imagine that big warm ball of energy within you, right around your solar plexus chakra, known as the Manipura, the city of jewels in Sanskrit. Imagine nice, lovely red, orange, yellow light radiating from there. Feel the heat radiate from your navel plexus. That chakra represents our bridge from ordinary consciousness to higher consciousness. The sun's energies allow us to move into our heart. You might feel added sensation on the right side of your body, where your Pingala Nadi, the river of current associated with the sun, flows predominantly. And on the left, that's balanced by the moon in the Ida Nadi. The mantra for the solar plexus chakra is Ram. We'll do it a couple times too. Each time imagining that light within you getting brighter and hotter. The symbol of fire is that it purifies. What you bring in contact with fire, it becomes fire. Like attracts like. Fire manifests unto itself. It spreads just like our unconditional love, compassion. Fire is also latent within everything that's flammable. Just like how the heat of tapasya, of spiritual discipline, already exists within you. It just needs to be brought out. Fan that flame with your breath. Fire is also illuminating, representing consciousness, awareness. And it points upward in the direction of the heavens, trying to reach higher and higher states. I'm going to do the sub-mantras for the Manipura chakra also. You can just listen or repeat after me if you know them. Gam dham nam tham tham dam dham nam pam pam. Dam dham nam tham tham dam dham nam pam pam. Dam dham nam tam tham dam dham nam pam pam. There are 10 sub-bija mantras in total, connecting with our 10 Puranas, the airs of our body, which deliver the energy all around, especially, but not limited to, our digestion and our sense of sight. Feeling that inner light radiating, filling our body with that luminant feeling of presence, of being. May we also meditate on the 12 names of the sun chanted during Surya Namaskara, sun salutations. You can repeat after me. Ham Mitraya Namaha. Ham Ravaye Namaha. Ham Suryaya Namaha. Ham Bhanave Namaha. Ham Khagaya Namaha. Ham Pushne Namaha. Ham Hiranyagarbhaya Namaha. Ham Marichaye Namaha. Adityaya Namaha. Savitre Namaha. Arkaya Namaha. Bhaskaraya Namaha. The sun represents of our antahkaranas, our inner senses, the chitta, our reflected consciousness. That is the light that we feel nostalgia for in our memories, the sense of I am in our identities, the confidence and courage in our discriminations, knowledge and decisions, and in excitement and spontaneity in our thoughts. Even when all four of those things change, our manas, our minds, our buddhi, our intellect, our hankara, our sense of self, and our chitta, our memory, the very light itself does not change. The presence of being. In the same way, the sun never ceases from shining. The sun gets no days off. It selflessly radiates its life-creating light all day, every day. Dawns represent new beginnings. Dusks represent rest. There is so much symbolism in the sun. It is the secret abode of our Creator. Let us spend a few moments basking in the radiance and splendor of the sun. Finally, we'll end with the most famous of all sun mantras, the Gayatri. which means something like Om. From the earth to the sky to the celestial plane, there we find that sun, worthy of worship, dissolver of darkness, divine, we meditate upon. May you propel our intellect. This is a mantra so ancient that even 2,500 years ago it was well known. The Buddha spoke highly of it, saying there is no poetry quite like the Gayatri. Taken from the Rig Veda, perhaps humanity's oldest spiritual revelations. Bhurmbhuvasva tatsaviturvarenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi dhiyo yonah prachodayat. Bhurmbhuvasva tatsaviturvarenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi dhiyo yonah prachodayat. Bhurmbhuvasva tatsaviturvarenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi dhiyo yonah prachodayat. Salutation to the sun. It's no surprise to me why the ancient ones first found divinity in the sun. Thank you for meditating with me. Namaskara. That concludes our live stream for today. So thank you very much for participating. Thank you, dear Jason, for the heart me sent whilst we meditated. Rama Rama. And dear Tom, thank you for your subscription. Har Har Mahadeva. Hello, Shifted. Hello, dear Lainey. Do I feel anything about your spiritual life journey? You recently had some big spiritual realizations. You should continue to integrate those in your life. Thank you, Anazek, for your friendship necklace. Om Mani Padme Hum. Hello, dear Sakura. Thank you for being a part of it, dear Magdalene Priya. Your energy is very powerful. Om Mitraya Namaha. Now, you're very welcome, Lainey Luna. I'm glad that the loon came out to balance the soul. Thank you for being a part of what makes this Sangha something to be grateful for, dear Aurum. Thank you to my lovely moderators for helping keep the peace in today's Sangha. Thank you, everyone. May this live stream be an offering to the divinity within you. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. If there's anything I can do to make this space more inclusive to you or anyone next time, please let me know. I hope to be a more humble host. Hold me accountable to that. Hello and goodbye, dear MJ. This live stream will not be posted to my Yamsox Lives YouTube channel because today's ASMR Sunday, and it will be uploaded to my Yamsox ASMR YouTube channel, also linked in the link tree in my bio. But the meditation and the readings still go in their dedicated playlists on the regular Yamsox Lives YouTube channel. If there's anything I couldn't attend to during the live, please reach out. We've got a Telegram group chat and a Discord server, both linked in the link tree in the bio too. And my inbox is open on Instagram and WhatsApp and email too. Everything I do remains eternally free. Good night, dear Jacqueline. Much love, dear lovable eccentricity. May you all have a wonderful rest of your present moment. Namaste.